Hey guys, today's story is about the red-eyed children. Now I know most of you are gonna know who the black-eyed children are, and some of you might even know who the white-eyed children are. But what I'm about to reveal to you is far worse than them. And the reason I can say this is because I had this experience myself. And I pray to God that none of you experience this yourself. Because there's one thing about these children you should know, is that they are far more aggressive than the others. And they will try to force their way into your homes if you do not let them in. Now, before I get ahead of myself, I need to tell you the story of my experience. I was coming home one night from a friend's house and had just pulled into the driveway. And as I got out of my car to walk to the door to unlock it, I heard a voice. As I turned around to look behind me, I saw 2 or maybe 3 children at least. They were dressed in modern day clothing, but the difference with these children is they did not wear hoodies, but they wore ball caps to cover up their face. Now as I went to speak to them, one of them spoke to me.
"Excuse me, sir. May we come inside?"
He said in a respectful but forceful voice. I said,
"No, it's late. I'm tired. And your parents must be worried about you kids being out this late at night."
The boy ignored my request and asked me again, but in a more hateful tone.
"May we please come inside, sir?"
And I continued to say no to them and to go away. And that's when the other one stepped up and spoke. It was a little girl this time.
"If you don't let us in, bad things will happen to you."
When I heard this, I began to get angry and I said,
"This is my house. I will not be threatened by little children."
That's when they all looked at me and laughed at me like I was nothing to them. Then they continued over and over and over again to say,
"Let us in your house. Let us in your house."
At this point, I began to get worried and fearful for my life. Normally I would not hit a child, but these children were seriously frightening me. When I went to put one of them down, they turned their heads toward the ground and their hat fell off. And that's when I saw their eyes. Unlike any eyes I'd ever seen in my entire life. They were glowing bright red. Kind of like when you shine a light in a deer's eyes. They had that type of glow. But more menacing than that. It was almost like I was staring into a demon's eyes. Before they even had a chance to get closer to me, I ran into my house and locked my door and shut off my lights. And I prayed that they would go away, but they would just stand there, and they stood there for a very long time chanting over and over again,
"Let us in your house. Let us in your house."
This is when I finally broke down and ran to the phone and picked it up and dialed the police. And I told them there were these strange children at my house and that they would not go away and leave me alone. And the dispatcher said, "We have someone on the way to your house now. Just stay on the line with me until someone gets there. Calm down." After the dispatcher told me this, I did stay on the line. But the whole time, I heard them chanting over and over again,
"Let us in your house. Let us in your house. Let us in your house."
And I'm not sure if the dispatcher heard what I did, but this did not matter. After what I'd seen, and I still heard them, before the police got there, I dared to look out my window, and to my horror, one of them was standing outside my window looking back at me with those horrible red eyes, and I thought I was going to die right then and there. And I quickly closed the blinds and huddled in a fetal position, praying to God that I would not die tonight. And that's when I finally heard the sirens of the police car in my yard. And just like that, they were gone. Nowhere to be seen. Eventually I gave my statement to the police officers, and they thought I was crazy and insisted I was just seeing things. But I know what I saw that night. I know I'm not crazy. And even though I was tired that night, I definitely was not seeing things. But since that night, I come home early before nightfall and I pray that I will never again see the red-eyed children. Hey guys, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this story. This was the only story I could find on the red-eyed children. Tell me what you think in the comments below, and if you have any sightings of the red-eyed children, please let me know. Send me an email. Tell me your story. Until next time, be good to each other.